Hello, folks. This is Kevin from Good Day, Good Prayers. I also go by KW Wayne on opinions. And today we're going to do a video about the Detroit Lions. It looks as if the Detroit Lions are going to have a lot of players missing during the Dallas game. One of the players that looks like will be missing and possibly could miss the rest of the year is going to be Brock Wright. Now, Brock Wright is the backup tight end, and he is playing in place of Laporta. Now, that's going to be a bit of a problem because the other three tight ends that they have are relatively inexperienced people. And they're not number ones and possibly not even number twos. Hopefully, during the course of this, they'll be able to find one of them that they can use moving forward. Now, keep in mind that the Detroit Lions do not have any kind of money to work with when it comes to free agency during the offseason. So signing somebody to an inexpensive contract, especially if Zylstra can't make it back, could be very important for Detroit. A small contract for a year might give them a backup person in case these kinds of injuries happen again. But we're talking right now about the Dallas game, and we're talking about the need to have a tight end. Now, one of the things that I believe they can do, and it's possible there might be a blocking tight end in that group that could potentially come in and work next to Taylor Decker. I believe that whoever it is that works next to Taylor Decker is going to have to help him with his blocking assignments. Decker has been hurt this year, and Decker seems to not be doing as well as what he has in the past. And so now they're in a kind of a bind. Now, I believe that one thing that could be really a serviceable idea would be to put Dan Skipper next to him in that position. If they can put Skipper in that position, it is possible that he could help with the blocking assignments and from time to time count 1001, 1002, 1003, and then jump into a pass pattern real quick. Skipper has shown the ability to be able to catch passes, and from the tight end position, they could possibly get 2 or 3 additional catches. It doesn't seem to me like without Laporta and without Brock Wright that the Lions' tight end position is going to be able to do an awful lot to help move the football. But if Dan Skipper can get 3 or 4 yards every time he touches the ball, or at least most of the time, it could help them to quickly move the football down the field. And it could also help them in regards of being able to get more production out of the tight end position. So I would be very interested in seeing something of that nature happen. He may have to be one of those players that is switched from a full-time tackle, in his case a backup full-time tackle, to a person who is, when he comes into the game, is just understood that he's a tight end. I don't know if they could do a numbers change, and I don't even know if they could actually change his position like that. I have no idea. I don't know what the rules for the NFL are. Maybe he has to let him know that he's an eligible receiver every time he comes in. But what I would do is I would use him quite a bit in that position. If he could catch 2, 3, maybe 4 passes during the course of the game, you could add an extra 15 or 20 yards to the production of the tight ends. Otherwise, I don't believe there's going to be much production coming from there. You also have a situation where Khalif Raymond will probably not be playing either. And of course, St. Brown is not going to be playing. So hopefully, guys like Tom Kennedy can come in and fill in. But we also have a couple of guys over the top, Tesla, as well as Jameson Williams. And those guys are going to have to try to stretch the field. If you can't stretch the field, your safeties are going to cheat up into the box. When that happens, it will completely shut down the running game. Last week, we could see that they kept trying to run up the middle, and it did not work. The team that they were playing against, the Green Bay Packers, were too strong up the middle. Well, this team is going to be too strong up the middle because they have a couple of horses, and unfortunately, they're Belgians. And those guys are just too big to be able to run up the middle on. They're going to have to go off tackle, and they're also going to have to get those guys into passing lanes so that they can get the ball to them. And let's not throw the ball to them behind the line of scrimmage. We need to throw it beyond the line of scrimmage this time. No more of that screen garbage. Well, this is Kevin from Good Day, Good Prayers. This is K.W. Wayne from Opinions. And you folks have a good day.